Could the adaptogens you're taking be harming you? With all the buzz and the popularity of everybody getting back to nature and starting to replace their normal go-tos with botanicals and us learning more about them, I figured I would do a series to educate you on the profiles of plants, because like us, plants have makeups and systems. And it's important to know these so we can select the best plants and medicines for the appropriate thing that we're trying to treat, whether it be an illness or it be just to improve your health. So botanicals have properties or constituents, so what makes up the plant, like their volatile oils, tannins, antioxidants, which have actions in our bodies. So those properties might be anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antimicrobial, etc. They also have affinities, which means where they like to work in our body. So for instance, burdock, it likes to work in our liver. And then one that is not really talked about a lot, which is super important when we're selecting botanicals, especially to treat an illness, is its energetics. So when we're talking about energetics, we're talking about temperature. So we're talking if it's warming or cooling, hot or cold. But it's moisture. So whether it's damp or if it's moist or dry. And then we have tone. So tone means whether it relaxes or whether it tightens. So it's important to know these things, especially when we're selecting things to treat illnesses. So we see a lot of TikTok trends now that it's a very popular app and people are getting a lot of information and it's an abundance of it, and it's so great that people are getting back to nature. But they have to understand that the plant's profiles also need to match the profile we're looking for when we're trying to deal with an illness or improve our health. So I thought with this series that I'm going to start off with the actions of plants, because there's many of them, but we're going to go through the common 40. Not in this video. We're going to start off with adaptogens. Now, an adaptogen plant is a plant that helps the body deal with stressors or emergencies, and the body's been knocked off its synergistic balance. But what you might not have known is there's only 3 classes of plants that actually fall in as an adaptogen, which are the rest kind of fell in there because of their abilities to stimulate the your adrenals, and be able to make it send out messages to the body, making it feel like it has energy that it really doesn't have. Adaptogens are really tonics, and in like the herbal world, especially like the holistic herbal world, a lot of herbalists do not agree with the term adaptogen because it's actually a tonic to be used at specific times. It's not something that you should be taking every day. And a lot of companies that make these products, like you might see like mud water or whatever, and they go on about the adaptogenic, properties. That's what they boast mostly about. They're not realizing that there are very much times where adaptogens are not called for, even though somebody is experiencing a crisis or an emergency. If someone's experiencing adrenal fatigue, we do not want to give them adaptogens because the adrenals don't need to be stimulated at this time because they're burnt out, and you can burn out your adrenals by using an adaptogen when it's not called for. So essentially, you'll be causing more harm than what's good at this point. So products and remedies that we see companies make, a lot of these things are not taken into consideration because we have scientists formulating these products over herbalists that take all of these things, because as holistic herbalists, I'm a rebel herbalist, but I'm holistic. We treat the person as the whole body. That's why even I do custom blends, because my signature blends that are just like common ones are not for everybody. And sometimes I need to add or I need to remove botanicals from those blends in order to suit and serve the person who's going to be taking them. Adaptogens are also overused and much less abused, because the fact that people think that, oh yeah, it's adaptogen, they heard one little, you heard the definition of it, but don't really understand how and where they work on the body. So you'll start to see the ramifications of that, because I actually don't even see certain things being advertised as much anymore, because people started to have the effects, because people that had a contraindication not to be taking an adaptogen ended up having consequences, and which is, the burnout of the adrenals and not getting rest. Because if somebody is experiencing adrenal fatigue, insomnia, you're not want to go for a adaptogen. You're going to want to go for a sedative nervine with hypnotic effects in order to get the body to rest. Because adaptogens, they are like a brake pedal. So they basically put the brakes on your body's own innate systems, telling you, okay, you need to stop and rest, and then gives the body, like I mentioned before, a false sense of energy that it doesn't have. So if you found the information in this video useful, let's have a chat inside of the comment section, because maybe you didn't know this about adaptogens. And if you learned something, give me a thumbs up, comment, and share with someone who also might benefit from hearing this information. And I will see you in the next one, when we are going to talk about nervines.